Welcome to Vitamin OC. I'm Joanna Weiss.
And I'm Whitney Gomez. Every week we bring you your recommended dose of civics and civilization in Orange County, except Thanksgiving week. We did not bring you your recommended dose during Thanksgiving. So we're
No,
back now, Joanna.
we sure are. We sure are. And we're so excited to talk with everyone today about our season. We're here to recap what we talked about, the people that we enjoyed hearing from, and the things that we've learned along the way.
I think the biggest thing for me in this whole journey with you, Joanna, I thought it was going to be very hard to come up with good episodes and secure the guests. And that has been wonderful. People have been so willing to talk to us. It's been the technology that's been vexing us.
Yes, this is so true. For behind a little peek behind the scenes, we have entire episodes with illustrious guests and had no volume. We've had recordings and had echoes, and we've had to record episodes again before they've been aired. So thanks for bearing with us for our audience. And then thank you to our guests for being very patient with us.
And the most heartbreaking tech problem for me was the echo with Pastor Paul, who came and spoke to us about the founding fathers and Christian nationalism. He was so wonderful and spent so much time with us. And then there was a little bit of an echo on the recording, and we decided to run with it. And I've had so much great feedback on him. In fact, Joanna, I've had two people say that they were going to go down and attend a service at his church.
Amazing. And I similarly have had some enthusiastic people who are talking about Chris Cluey saying they're going to vote for him because they believe in his message. And he, I think, was a great way to start off our season, to talk to somebody who stood up to authority because he didn't like something that the Huntington Beach City Council was doing. And if you recall, he was arrested for that and is now running for state assembly. What were some of the highlights for you?
Well, sticking with Huntington, meeting Gina Clayton Tarvin, who I had spoken with a year prior, she was such a treat. And my mother, who's from New Jersey, just connected with her so much. My mother was like, "This woman is from California. How is that possible?" Gina was so much fun to have on, so I loved her. And Greg Kaplan, who recorded 2 episodes with us, and it's kind of early decision college season for the seniors right now. So I was talking to some up yesterday. Great to have Greg there advising people throughout that whole process. So he was fun.
He was really great. And Jeff Pearlman, who spoke so well about the urgency and the problems facing our democracy right now. That was another great episode for us as we were just getting our feet wet. He brought up a lot of really great points about the dire situation that we're in, with ICE still continuing to grab people off the streets. And another favorite political speaker for me was Mike McLaughlin, also talking about the urgent nature of where politics is right now and providing some ways for people to get involved.
And a highlight for me was meeting Katrina Foley, who I have seen many, many times in the last couple of years locally in her role in leadership. She came in with her notebook with all the facts, didn't look at a notebook once, had everything in her brain, was so familiar with all of the statistics and all of the issues. And my husband actually was really, really impressed by her, as was I. So she was really great to have. And she's one of those people, you don't really get the essence of her, I don't think, until you meet her. I
Yeah, I think so. Right.
Really meaningful. Loved her.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I think meeting her is important for people to understand that this is a woman who walks the walk, talks the talk, and puts in the work. But another one I know that was
Another strong woman, Bethany Webb.
yes, yes.
Iconic, towering figure she is. The
So
number of issues she touches, your good friend.
yeah, so such a heartfelt episode there, and I'll always remember your personal connection with Bethany there, and that you two share a similar tragic stories, a background with your sisters, but that spontaneous connection during the episode was something that I'll always remember. And I so appreciated you both being so candid in your sharing your grief with us, because I think it's important that people, particularly women, really find our common spaces so that we can support each other as best we can.
Well, she was a powerhouse. I loved, loved, loved meeting her. Another icon is Susanna Delano, who
Yes.
you know very well from Close the Gap. Loved hearing about their whole process. And then do you want to talk a little bit about Amy?
Yes, yeah, that was, so Amy Capelli was another dynamic kind of political woman that we had on who's helped groom some candidates and had some successes getting folks elected and is now at the helm of Wave as the executive director, and they've got big plans, so it was wonderful to hear from Amy and learn about her journey getting into politics really for the first time as an adult. She's had all of these skills that she's, been so engaged the last few years has really found her own. But one of the fun ones that was great for us and gave you a little street cred was Dr. Carly Snyder, our psychologist on girls. And what were some of your thoughts on that one?
My gosh, I have talked about that episode with so many adult women, mothers who are kind of thinking, what is going on in college? What is happening? And then, of course, my children and their friends are just shaking their heads at me like, Mrs. Gomez, Mom, why are you talking about these issues on your podcast? So if you haven't listened to Dr. Carly Snyder, I highly recommend taking a listen because she was wonderful. And the other friend, because she's a friend, Jason Stern, came on and talked about his career as a financial transitionist. And I was just at lunch this week with some friends who were talking about their parent and estate planning and all the emotion that goes into that. And I immediately perked up and said, "You need Jason Stern." So he was great.
Great. He was so great. And you were kind enough to come on and give us some of the post grad financial planning that you know about and that you've been able to give seminars on to other people. So we so appreciate you sharing your expertise with us. How was that?
My daughter Alex, she was great to
Yes.
do that with me. So thank you, Alex.
Yeah.
Alex.
Thank you, Alex.
And then we had Dr. Brooks before the Hogue Her Summit. And Dr. Brooks, I have seen her speak dozens of times, and it was such a pleasure to have her in my dining room with you, having a conversation. She's so impressive, and she's become a dear friend. I've seen her since. And in fact, I was at a Hogue meeting, and a woman came up to me and said, "Oh, I've been listening to your podcast." And I thought, how do you know about my podcast? And through Dr. Brooks, she had gotten turned on to the podcast. So Dr. Brooks has brought in some new listeners for us as well.
As we knew she would. She's absolutely a fan favorite and a personal favorite of both of us. I think such a incredible icon in Orange County, and then now has become kind of our menopause guru locally too. So that was such a great one. And other friends of yours that we had on for Budget You, I thought Tom and Natalie Giannulli did such a great job of helping us prepare our college kids for budget conversations and tracking budgets in college.
They were great. I am going to be loading the app over break with my 2 daughters, so that's on the list for their break, and I have a friend who just, started up with their son to great reviews. So anybody who's having budget issues with college kids, even high school kids, later high school maybe, take a look at Budget You on your app store. I have to mention Swad Elias, our mutual friend. She was amazing, so very heartfelt and has done such a great job with all of the legal clinics that you and she work on. My daughter, who's on the pre-med track, is coming home for Christmas, and we're gonna go out for a couple of rounds with Wound Walk.
I was so glad that we could introduce more people to Wound Walk and the amazing Michael Sean Wright. That's all his vision. To think that he started Wound Walk 7 years ago with just a vision and a backpack of just walking around tending to wounds, and then seeing what it's become in 3 different counties, 7 days a week. It's really really remarkable. So I hope you enjoyed as much as Audrey and I have enjoyed going out.
I will let you know. And speaking of people taking initiative, Benny Halleck, who has taken on the role of leader of saving the Newport Beach golf course, that, Joanna, is our most watched video of an interview.
Yes,
A lot of people were very interested in him, and he was
right.
so earnest. It was so nice to meet him, and I watched the whole town council meeting when his group actually lost the vote, which was too bad
Right.
for them, but he was wonderful to meet.
I love that that's our most watched episode because in some ways I think that that speaks that, all politics is local, that was probably the most local issue that we addressed this season, and that people I know in our community reached out to say that that's where they were learning facts about the issue. People were using us as a resource like we're hoping they do to learn more information about a particular local issue.
And then Jessica Murray, our mutual friend of decades who we didn't know we had in common, she was great to talk to about girls in high school, NIL and recruiting, and all of the insights that she brought to the table. That was fun.
That was so great to spend time with her. And another kind of favorite of mine was Aaron McCall, who is been a dear friend for nearly a decade and is the political director for environmental voters. And hearing from him on our local environmental issues and activism in general was always great to spend time with Aaron.
Joanna, we didn't know each other that well when we started talking about it last March or April. So it's been
Right.
a lot of fun getting to know you. You know everyone in Orange County. You are so connected. It's been really fun having access to your quote unquote Rolodex.
Well, right back at you if I don't know somebody you do. So it's been so fun to do this with you. It's wonderful to make a new friend and find somebody that, I think we riff off each other well. We have fun doing this and I think that's why we continue to do this because we're both having a lot of fun.
We're having a lot of fun. And I laughed when we logged in today because we have similar colors on today. We always show up in the same navy blazer and striped shirt, or I mean,
Yeah,
some clothing ESP going on amid everything else. So
for
thank you.
sure.
It's been a blast, and we're gonna take a little break until mid-January. So enjoy having your kids from college home and everything that you have going on.
You too. You too. Have a wonderful holiday. And to all of our listeners, thanks for being with us this first season. We are glad that you're with us. We hope that we provided you some education, some humor, and maybe some ways of looking at issues that maybe you hadn't thought about in a new light.
And thank you for joining us for your recommended dose of civics and civilization in Orange County.
We'll see you next season.